Carolina and Company Live.
Hello and welcome to Carolina and Company Live. I'm Amanda Kinseth. Cecil has the day off today, but we have a spectacular show, lots to talk about, lots to see, even a couple surprises. So you got to stick with us. But first, let's take a look at that weather. And welcome back to Carolina and Company Live. We are halfway through the week, and we're talking about this weekend. There's a big car show coming up. That's a cruise in Saturday, November 1st at Aroma's Pizza, which is out on 707 in Murrells Inlet. The cruise-in runs from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. There will be lots of rock and roll music and classic cars and trucks. It's free to everyone, free. And the top 4 winners are taking home trophies. So come on out, enjoy the day. Some great food, and there's Cecil right there. He will be out there. So go on and check it out. It's going to be a good time. Now this morning, if you were up early, you may have happened to see our little contest we had on Good Morning Carolinas. We all carved pumpkins. There's Crystal's, and this is Jack Lampson's right here. A little palmetto tree and the 15. Now this is Maddie's pumpkin. This is her little dog. How cute is that? And then Keith and I teamed up, and this is our Batman right there. So if you check out our Facebook page, and there we are right there at the end of the show, because we had our expert Eric Wagner on the show too, and he did that massive pumpkin right there in the middle. But if you log on to Facebook and go to the WPDE Facebook page, then you can vote for your favorite. You just like the picture of your favorite pumpkin, Batman. But pick whichever one you want. And speaking of pumpkins, we took Charlie to the pumpkin patch down there in Surfside Beach. So much fun. He dressed up like a little pumpkin with his t-shirt, and then lots of pumpkins. So go on out there. They have plenty of pumpkins left there and plenty of other pumpkin patches throughout the area, because Friday is Halloween. And don't forget, tomorrow we have our very special Halloween show. That's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk a little bit about today. Today is Wednesday, Hump Day, October 29th, and this is Basketball Coaches Day, and this is also Ride 'em Cowboy Week, and it is also National Frankenstein Day, so keep that in mind. Birthdays today, 1947, Richard Dreyfuss. He is 67 years old. There he is right there. 1948, Kate Jackson. She is 66. She's known from TV's Charlie's Angel. She was Sabrina. In 1971, Winona Ryder. She is 43. She's been in all kinds of stuff, including Mermaids, Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, and Black Swan. Now, today in history, 1945, the first ballpoint pen goes on sale 57 years after it was patented. And 1982, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson release The Girl Is Mine. Now it's time for our Know-It-All department. Do you know when the favorite Christmas song, Jingle Bells, was written? Does anybody have an idea? Want to shout out a guess? Jingle Bells. When did it come up? No guesses? 1935. Actually, it is way older than that. I had no idea. 1857. It was written around Thanksgiving. 1857. Whew, that's a long song, and we are still singing it. Now, I mentioned it was National Frankenstein Day, and boy, do we have a treat for you. He actually stopped by our studio earlier. Take a look at this.
I'm just kidding. Hello and welcome. Today is actually National Frankenstein Day, which is outstanding because Frankenstein is one of the greatest works of science fiction ever written. Now, for those of you who don't know, Frankenstein was originally written by Mary Shelley in 1818. The book didn't have her name on the cover until the second printing of it, when it was originally released in Europe. Now, the creature in the book Frankenstein isn't actually Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the last name of the creator or the doctor in the novel. The creature is only referred to as creature, monster, fiend, wrench, vile insect, demon, being, and it. But when the being refers to himself, he refers to himself to the doctor as the atom of your being. The original title of the novel Frankenstein was Frankenstein with a surname, the modern Prometheus. Now, Prometheus is an old Greek tale where Prometheus is a titan who creates man in the behest of Zeus and made the beings in the image of the gods. Now, after he creates humankind, He teaches them to hunt, read, and heal the sick. And whatever happens, Zeus didn't want them to have fire. But Prometheus, being the creator, wanted them to have fire anyway. So he gives it to him, and Zeus didn't like that. So he punishes Prometheus by chaining him to a rock and has an eagle eat out his liver every single day. Because he's a god, he can grow it back. Now, that does not sound like a good day. All right, and the most famous Frankenstein that most of you probably know is Boris Karloff, who played it in the black and white film. So I hope you guys have a happy and safe Frankenstein Day.
Welcome back to Carolina and Company Live. All you've ever wanted to know and more about Frankenstein right there. Now we're talking about some food. The Taste of Georgetown is coming up this weekend, and boy, Vicki, it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. It's going to be wonderful food. It's a great signature fundraiser for the Family Justice Center. We serve victims of domestic violence and their children. This is the 5th annual, and we've got 21 wonderful restaurants that are going to be serving wonderful samples of their food up and down Front Street in Georgetown. The weather will be cool, so put a jacket on and come and eat and enjoy and support the Family Justice Center.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, this gets bigger and bigger every year, right? A lot of people come out to this event.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's gone from hundreds to thousands, and we'd be just as happy if it kept on growing.
Sure.
So we just want people to come down and enjoy. There's going to be some bands playing and wonderful food, and it is such a good cause. We really take pride in a lot of what we do.
Absolutely. Now, what are some of the food items that people might be able to get?
Well, you'll see that from the Atlantic House, I brought a sample of their very special shrimp and grits with corn and bacon. We've got some desserts like chocolate mousse. We've got perlo, chicken perlo, just everything you can imagine. With 21 different restaurants serving, you can get anything that you want.
Yeah, and this is a good chance, too, for people to, A, get out and have some fun, B, support the Family Justice Center, and C, get to try different dishes from different places.
And just enough to give you a taste, you know, so that you can kind of keep on eating up and down the street.
For those that don't know, talk about the Family Justice Center and what you guys do.
The Family Justice Center is the sole provider of services to victims of domestic violence and their children in Georgetown. We also serve Horry County. We provide counseling, and of course our shelter, 24-hour, 7-day-a-week is available, safe shelter for emergency shelter. But the counseling, the case management, the legal consultation, the court advocacy, all of that is important when a woman is trying to, typically a woman is trying to make a break and make a change.
Right, and unfortunately, you know, that service is needed. I mean, there is definitely a need for that, but that's great that you guys are out there to provide that for people.
Yeah, we're seeing about double and triple the number of people we saw when we opened in Georgetown on High Market Street in 2009. So there's definitely a need, and people care about this issue, and we want them to come out and support the Family Justice Center and also enjoy the wonderful food.
Yeah, you can do it in a fun way. You head on out there this weekend. Tell them where to be and when.
Right, it's going to be from 12:30 to 3:30, right on Front Street, up and down Front Street, and in some of the side streets of Georgetown. Very easy to find. We've got packages of tickets available. You get for $20, you can get 23 tickets, and each of the, or you can pay $1 a ticket.
Sounds delicious. All for a good cause. Check it out in Georgetown this weekend, and stick with us. We'll be right back in just a moment. Thanks for lunch. Welcome back to Carolina and Company Live. As you know, on this show, we like to feature authors, and today we have Stuart A. McKeever with his latest book, Becoming Joey Fizz. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. In the time allotted for your audience, the Fizz comes from Joey is it's a period piece. Joey is a returning Korean War veteran. That's just a novel. And at one point in his life, he leaves New York, the conflicts within his family. He goes to Hollywood, becomes a waiter and a maitre d' in a high-end Hollywood restaurant, and he puts on a show how he pours the champagne. So one of the guests one night looks at him and says, "Joey, you really put on a show. We should call you Joey Fizz." So that's where that comes from. Huh. And he uses, later at the end of the book, it becomes, in a way, part of his identity in that anyway, part of his identity. But Joey, the book starts, Joey is a returning Korean War veteran. And that war, you know, it didn't end, it stopped. And so many other warriors, wounded and otherwise, were just ended up with They're training how to shoot, how to kill, how to wear a uniform, but where do you go with your life? Joey did not want to return home right away because he had a conflict with his father and his mobster uncle. So he ends up, by chance, by a fluke in a way, taking a blinded war buddy to Yosemite National Park to help that war buddy fulfill a dream of his. So Joey becomes his eyes, his wounded buddy's eyes, but it also becomes the catalyst so Joey can begin to look inside himself and have his own memory bank other than the battlefield, other than the wounded, other than the death that he saw. So his passage back, his rite of passage back to New York takes him to the home of a Native American buddy who was killed in one of the battles, and he sees a different side of the spiritual values of the Native American people. He ends up going back to New York, a conflict with his mobster uncle and father. That's when he goes back to Hollywood, then to Las Vegas, then wants a place of his own.
Yeah, sounds like a fantastic story. They're very intriguing.
If I may, just because there's no rehearsal for this, is that, you know, when we're all born, you know, our history isn't laid out in front of us like a coloring book. We just get to fill in the pages. You know, it comes at us. Whether it's a tsunami, an earthquake, trauma, or blessings, however it is, and it unfolds. So Joey wanted to earn his own history, not dollars, not fame, but in his soul and his mind and his guts, something that was his, something that he would belong to him, and that's the essence of the story. He achieves that. It's a delicatessen, Fizz's Deli at the end. But he's a visionary of sort because it's a period piece. So in the 70s, he sees, what if I sell frozen pizzas or frozen pasta?
Right.
And he falls in love, and he marries the woman he meets in Las Vegas, who was a ballerina.
Don't give away the ending now. We need people to get the book
that's
to read
right.
it.
No,
so check out the book. Yeah, Becoming Joey Fizz, an incredible story.
He's a man with a heart.
Okay. Check it out by Stuart A. McKeever. Thank you so much.
Thank
Stick
you.
with us. We have more coming up in just a moment.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Carolina and Company Live. I have an artist with me now, Cindy Sellers, and you make some beautiful stuff out of shells.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Well, talk about first, how did all of this get started?
Well, it got started 3 years ago. I lost someone very special to me to cancer. But before that, I had given my ex-husband a kidney. We have 2 beautiful children, and it was a very necessary process. And fortunately, I was a match for my ex-husband. He was doing great, but before the year was, before we could make it to a year anniversary, he died from having to take immune suppressant drugs that allowed cancer to take his life. So with my broken heart for my children and myself, I did a lot of soul searching, and I feel like that it's been my mission today to raise awareness for living organ donation. And I took a lot of time. Of course, I'm a native of this area, lived here at the beach all my life, and I took a lot of time on the beach. And so shells played a very significant part in my healing. I would look at these broken shells and pick them up and go, wow, you know, this is such a beautiful shell, but it's broken. And for whatever reason, I feel like it was a plan of God's that I could take this broken shell and make something whole and beautiful. Unbeknownst to me, I had the talent to work with shells in an artistic way. I'm actually a registered nurse. Hospice was the last thing that I did with in a clinical environment. But now, today, I've taken the opportunity to take this experience and pay it forward in allowing and helping other people, teaching people about living organ donation. I know a lot of people like to say they're giving their kidney or their body parts when they die, but it's really important to pay it forward if you can and give life while you're living and experience that blessing.
That's an excellent message to give out there. You actually know somebody who needs a kidney right now, even.
I do, and I'd like to take the opportunity and challenge the people in our community today and until Christmas, and let's just, you know, put it on our hearts to give generously with ourselves. It's a huge blessing to be able to have the life to give life. So Roger Lackey is a friend of mine, and
he is in need of a kidney, so definitely something to think about. If you know you are able to give, then do, and then definitely check out your shells too, because these are beautiful. I love that you took something broken and made it beautiful. Thank you so much.
Body Inlet.
All right, we will be right back in just a moment. Stick with us. Welcome back to Carolina and Company Live. Now, earlier we told you about a big fish fry. You guys do it every year, Heather, and you raise money for special kids. And
Absolutely.
It looks like you raised a little bit of money this year.
Yeah, we did good. We did better than last year, which is always good. We raised $7,736 for their Christmas program, and we could not be more excited.
Fantastic. Now, Teresa, tell us where this money goes.
This money goes to our Christmas tree program. Between the money that Heather raised and the money from our Christmas tree program that we do each year, where we put small trees in offices and with wish tags, and we serve about 500 children with disabilities, Horry, Georgetown, Williamsburg County, kids who may be in group homes, hospitals, in the foster care system, or in impoverished homes. They all have disabilities, and this money goes to try and buy what they want.
Yeah, and you guys must be stoked to get this much money.
It's awesome. Heather's just amazing. This year it's a little bit different this year. Heather, as you know, has recently had a baby, so she's not going to be doing a lot of the shopping this year. So we're going to have a shop-a-thon and a wrap-a-thon.
Nice.
And if you have any viewers that want to help out, they can give me a call.
Okay, yeah, get a hold of us. We'll put you in touch. Should be fun. You get to go shopping, and it's all for the kids in our area. Thank you so much for joining us today. Everyone have a wonderful rest of the day. Let's tell them goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.